Hey, I'm Alex Radcliffe from Board Game Co. And this video is kind of meant for the people who watch my channel on a regular basis. Make no mistake, you're welcome to watch the video no matter who you are, whether this is the second video you've watched, the first time you've stumbled upon me on the vast reaches of the internet, or whether you watch a lot of my content. But the intent, the reason for the video was kind of towards people who are regulars here, people who show up, not necessarily for every video, but hey, if you watch one video a month, I consider that already a regular. You're someone who's here on a regular basis. You're someone who's not just found me on the internet, but hey, maybe you subscribe, maybe you just see me when I show up in a sidebar and you click through the video. Whichever one it is, that's kind of who I'm talking to in this video. Again, everyone, welcome. There's a subscribe button, there's all these fun things. You can utilize those, you don't have to, whatever it is. The motivation for this video is this past month, I think I've traveled more than past 6 weeks, I should say. The past 6 weeks, I think I've traveled more than I ever have in my life. It's an anomaly, I hope. I travel on a regular basis. Part of what I do is, as a content creator, is I'm frequently going to conventions, going to publishers, having opportunities to meet other content creators. There is a lot of travel that's a part of this job that I have, this weird job where I get to talk about board games on the internet, a job I'm incredibly grateful for. And there's a lot of travel behind that. Now, it's not always mandatory, it's not always obligated, it's not always essential. You can be a perfectly fine content creator without ever stepping foot outside your house. But it is something I enjoy. There are opportunities that I enjoy, and to that end, I often find myself saying yes when the opportunities present themselves, because I like it, I have fun with it. But it also means that if you have too much travel in a short time frame, and I've already canceled the next 2 trips that I was going to go on because I realized I need to slow down or drop. There's a balance, there's a healthy balance between, well, everything. There's a balance between, well, traveling for fun. There's a balance between traveling for work. There's a balance between the amount of games you play, although that's not a balance I'm particularly anxious to stop. There's a balance between family. There's a balance between jobs, responsibility. There's a balance between the attention and energy I give you as a viewer, which is kind of where this video comes in. This is a thank you. Thanks for sticking with me. Thanks for still being here. Thanks for still watching videos. Whether you've been here since the very beginning, at the very, very beginning, 2019, I threw up a few videos. 2020, it started to actually become a thing. Whether you've been watching me for several years, whether you've been watching me for a few weeks, whether this is your first video, thanks for sticking around. Because I think there are some things that slip through the cracks as time goes on. And some of it is kind of, this video is prompted by the travel to an extent. It's prompted by the original intent, the original goal when I was trying to think this video effectively was, I kind of have been very bad at comments recently. Very bad. Like the past week specifically, I think I've replied to like 5 comments. That's not true, more than that. I always pull out my phone here and there for a few comments. But I've been very, very bad at being on top of and active with comments. And I felt bad of that. The original title I did, the way I track my things in general is I have a Notion board. Notion's a software you can use. I use it for a lot of different things. One of the things I use is I pop in little video ideas as I'm there. And there's lots of ideas. There's always lots of ideas. That's the good news about the board game space. You never run out of things to think about. Top 10 lists, reviews, topical conversations. There's always things you could do. But the original note that I put for myself was replying to comments. I didn't know what it was going to be. I debated whether maybe I do a live stream where I just go through comments for an hour, 2 hours, and try to get somewhat caught up in some degree of, well, comments, but that wouldn't really work as much, and it's not the level of engagement I want from a live stream. A live stream should be engaged with the live viewers. That's the point there. So I was trying to think through what I do there, and I realized that it's not really about replying to comments. It's about the fact that I appreciate that you're all here. You're all here throughout, and this kind of video, it's rambling. We're all over the place, but this kind of video is normally the kind of video that goes up, for members over on Patreon or Ko-Fi or whatnot. That's usually the kind of behind-the-scenes type thing I usually do, but the reality is this particular video is not just for Patreons, Ko-Fi members, all that stuff. If you are a Patreon member, a Ko-Fi member, if you do support the channel financially, it's incredibly appreciated. But it's also incredibly appreciated that you're here at all, that you're watching at all. YouTube's been an interesting journey. And it's a fascinating journey, and I've learned so much along the way about myself, about others, about how the industry works, about how being a content creator works. There have been some areas where I've become a bit more jaded. There have been some areas where I've become a bit more appreciative. Tom Vassell, for example. That's appreciative, not jaded. Tom Vassell. I've grown to appreciate and respect how he's been doing this for like 20 years, and he seems like he's the same person he always has been. He seems like he's still here for the love of the hobby, that he still loves games, that he still finds life and meaning and excitement in new games, that he still gets frustrated by games that wasted his or our time by the nature of how they exist in a terrible form. He'll still get frustrated and passionate about things he wants publishers to do better, the hardships of being a content creator. It still seems like he's him 20 years later. And it's not always easy. There's a lot of changes along the way. There's a lot of things that happen in this industry. There's a lot of things about putting yourself out there on the internet. There are elements of how you are that will change. There are elements of how you interact with others that will change. There are things I remember a long time ago in a Discord that I'm not really a part of anymore. I still have a Discord. I just shifted Discords. But I remember a long time ago having a conversation with a bunch of people when I was, I don't know, maybe 2,000 subscribers, maybe probably more than that. It's probably like 5,000 subscribers. And I remember having a conversation around the nature of like, hey, like, don't let me change, so to speak. Like, if you get a sense or a feeling that I'm someone different, call me out in it. And the good news is I'm still friends with some of those people. The bad news is I haven't talked to some of them in a while. I think the majority, I think on the whole, I'm still friends with a variety of those people. But it's hard not to get bogged down in so many different things. It's hard not to get bogged down in life in different aspects. Sometimes life is just busy and you don't reply to comments. Again, the initial impetus for this video. When I first started doing YouTube, I replied to every single comment. And I don't mean I replied to 90% of comments. I don't mean I replied to 97% of comments. I mean I replied to every single comment. The way the YouTube backend works is as a filter. You can say, show me all the comments I haven't replied to. And I would reply to every single last comment. Not most, every single last one. And that lasted well past 7,000, 8,000 subscribers. It lasted for a while, and then one day I just lost. I lost that battle. And I lost that battle because of you. I lost the battle because I'm grateful for the fact that as I grew, the comments grew, and I was still the one person. I was the only person handling the comments. To this day, I'm still really the only person who handles the comments. And I couldn't keep up. And so I no longer keep up with the comments. I still make it a point to go in every single day. I still make it a point to pull out my phone when I have a chance and just reply to a few here. Some days it's more than others. Some days I'm completely caught up in every comment from that day. Other days I get to go ahead and have 5 or 6 responses, but I no longer am able to keep up with the way I used to. And I'm on more platforms now too. There's Facebook comments, there's Instagram comments, there's YouTube comments, there's a lot to go through. There's emails, Facebook Messenger, WhatsApp, and Discord. The amount of platforms you can be in touch with people is overwhelming. Discord is its own little bubble. I mean, there's like, I am still part of an active Discord. I'm still part of a few active Discords, and there's like, it's hard. It's hard to be on top of everything. Even as you have communities of people who are building themselves up around you, communities of people who first start by being around you, but at a certain point they become their own little mini communities. It is hard to keep up. That's just one challenge. Keeping up with comments, keeping up with people, being on top of things, wanting to feel that, I guess the way I look at it is I want to feel engaged with every single person who engages with me. I just can't keep up. There's other challenges. Growing and maintaining while trying to be innovative, but not always having the bandwidth to be innovative. When I first started this channel, way back, once upon a time, I did a video. I think it was a Patreon specific video. I'm pretty sure. Maybe I'll link. If I remember, I will unhide the post. It's gonna be a flash from the past. If I remember, I will make the post. Okay, so I have to remember to do this after the video. I have to go to Patreon. I have to make the post public so anyone who's not a Patreon member can see it. But it's a video basically titled "How to Be Not How." I don't know. I said that. Why I don't want to be a board game reviewer. It might have been titled "Why I didn't want to be a board game reviewer," but I think it's why I don't. I don't remember for sure. When I first started this channel, I didn't want to be a board game reviewer. I wanted to talk about board games. Being a board game reviewer seemed like so much more work for so much less payoff, and to a certain extent, that's still true. The videos that tend to do the worst on the channel are reviews. And that's true not just for my channel, but for other channels. You go to any other channel, you see a topical conversation, a top 10 list, my 100 best games of all time. You compare that to an individual review. Reviews always do the worst. because they're about a single game. Unless someone has an interest in that game, unless they already had an interest or see your title or thumbnail and then develop an interest, it's so much harder to find and focus that interest around a single game as opposed to a top 10 list, as opposed to something topical, as opposed to any of these things. And it's not to say reviews don't do well. You can and will find reviews that do well on any platform, on any channel. But as on average, I think they do less better than other things, and they tend to be so much more work. And I never really wanted to do that. It wasn't the goal. I like talking about board games, but there's the fun of being able to convey my infection for the things I like or even don't like about the hobby, whatever degree of thing that I'm passionate about. And then there's the tedious work of, hey, here's a homework list of games to review, here's the process I have to go through, they're all going to be the same general formula, and you're going to get bored. You as a viewer are going to get bored. You're not going to watch every single video. You can't watch every single video. We can't keep up. We can't keep up with any of it. That's the way life is. We just can't keep up with everything. But sometimes, over time, especially with a channel, it becomes easier to standardize things. It becomes easier to have a schedule. Monday is 2 back and not to back. Thursday is the live stream. Saturday is the week in review. On Tuesdays, I have 3 videos go up. They're all going to be reviews. Generally, not always. On Thursday, the video is going to be a live stream, but then it's going to be usually a review, possibly a gameplay, and sometimes an unboxing. But 3 videos go up on Thursday. Saturday, we have the week in review, followed by 2 reviews, usually. There are times gameplays or unboxings get mixed in for that. Sometimes you have a roundup review to keep things interesting. Sunday's usually going to be some sort of topical thing. Friday's often going to be one of my monthly videos, and Wednesday's often going to be a top 10 list of some sort. It's easier to standardize things. It's easier to fall into patterns because, especially if you're doing, I'm up to, at the time of filming this, I'm up to 2,600 videos on the channel. I do 14 videos a week, and sometimes it's just easier to just do the same thing day in, day out. This series I've enjoyed, the things I want to do differently, things I either have done and I'm not consistent about. Sometimes they're harder. Play This Not That is a series I've always loved, and I tried bringing it back. I still plan on doing it. It's not dead, but I would love to do a Play This Not That every single month if I could. I should. I don't know why I don't. Part of it's, I think, because Play This Not That to a certain extent is a formula that works better when you're just dealing with your own collection, your own games. It's a little harder, and when a publisher sends you a copy to review, they send you a copy to review, not a copy to do a Play This Not That on, I think. I remember once upon a time a publisher did send me a copy of a game. This is earlier on, way back when. I did a Play This Not That between the game and another game. The other game was my preferred choice, but I liked both games. They never talked to me again. I don't think they appreciated that coverage. I don't think it's what they signed up for. And that is what it is. I guess it's complicated. It's complicated. It's a difficult navigational aspect to try to do certain things that are outside the realm of what you're used to. I still want to do more 12 by 12 games, like 12 by 12 reviews. That's a review format where I go into everything and I really try to go into as much depth as possible. Not just playing a game 12 times, but playing a game in every conceivable formula or every way I possibly could, and then giving you an opinion on that. But those require so much more time and energy, and so I still plan on doing them, but even once a month is a challenge to get those done because you just really have to dive into every formula and iteration of a game. There are other things I want to do on the channel. There are series that have come and gone. I used to do Should You Back It's a lot. Those don't happen nearly as often. They'll still happen here and there, but they're not that exciting. I mean, God of War is launching any day now when I'm filming this, so that will give you a sense of when this is going up. Maybe I'll do a full Should You Back It on God of War. Maybe. I feel that the longer I'm here, the longer some things become, I don't know, jaded even for me. You kind of constantly shift or adjust to whatever bucket you kind of feel makes the most sense for you. Some things get added along the way, some things get dropped. And through it all, you're here. Through it all, you're still watching. You're still popping in, whether it's daily, whether it's every single video, whether it's once a month, you're still popping in to watch. And I appreciate that. I know that for myself, I'll find channels that I appreciate, that I enjoy, and then I'll watch a few videos from them. I'll really fall in love with the way they present their content, and then as time goes on, I watch fewer videos from them. I'll still watch them. I'll still pop in. There's still many content creators who I appreciate what they do and how they do it, and I still pop in to see what's up. Maybe it's a topic that caught my eye. Maybe I find for me, things like this video over here are usually the thing that kind of get me. Some sort of topical thing that I'm like, ooh, what's new? What's going on with that person? Like, what's different? Why is there a change or an update or something happening? Sometimes it's a top 10 list that has a good title or more interesting. Sometimes it's a little bit more personal. It's about your collection or the games you're getting rid of. I've always loved watching people get rid of games and make those decisions or choices. Even as I sit there and finally put a comment of, hey, Board Game Ramblings, why'd you get rid of that game? That's a great game. You shouldn't get rid of it. That happens. I'm still upset they didn't like Cyclades. I appreciate you being here. I appreciate you sticking around. It is not always easy to maintain the same level of fire and passion and change and difference in every single video. I love what I do. Lord knows I love what I do, but some aspects of it are a job. Most aspects of it are a job. Some of those aspects I don't lose any of the excitement or the fire or the energy for. And others I do. It's not easy to put up 5 to 7 reviews a week and be as equally passionate about every single one. And sometimes the answer could be cut back. The problem is the thing I am passionate about is I am passionate about playing those games. I'm passionate about playing as many games as I possibly can, getting a sense or a feeling for so many different things in the board game space. That I'm passionate about. It's the follow-up where you're like, okay, great, this game wasn't exciting. Some games excite you. If I'm sitting there and I'm reviewing Senkori, or just recently today, this is like, don't tell, nah, I'm not gonna say it. I played a game today, first play, but I really liked it. I can't wait to play it more first, and then to get on camera and tell you how I feel, assuming it still holds up. The second play might be terrible, I don't know. But I can't wait for that feeling, that sense of being able to convey to you, here's something I'm excited for. Here's something that's interesting to me. Here's a game that I'm passionate about. And frankly, when a game sucks, there could be that same level of passion sometimes. But most games don't have that. Most games are good. I say this all the time in different ways, at different points, regarding different topics, but most games are going to fall into this range over here. Some games are over here, some games are over here. Those are more interesting to talk about, and most games are just medium. But I still have to talk about those games. If I only talk about the best of the best, if I only talk about the worst of the worst, it's not really a board game review channel anymore. It's just a selective conversation about the things that are interesting, but let's not talk about the things that aren't. I don't know. It's impossible, not impossible, it's hard. It's hard to always maintain the same level of what you're doing. The same interest level. Which again, part of why I give props to Tom Vassell, someone who's been in the space the longest that I can see, and it feels like he's still just as present. There's a reason I shout out the Dice Tower Kickstarter every single year. There's a reason I shout out the Dice Tower all the time, because I really feel from everyone out there, from all the content creators, and no disrespect to any other content creator, but the amount of respect I have for the Dice Tower, I think it's unrivaled for me in terms of and again, from a personal level of enjoyment, there are other content creators I might enjoy a bit more in some different ways. But from a pure respect level for what is being done and the work and effort to get there and be there and maintain it, that's where the Dice Tower for me is top notch, top tier. I'm incredibly grateful for my life. I'm incredibly grateful for the opportunities I have been given and the opportunities I continue to be given. I'm incredibly grateful for the friends I've made, the people who have given me a chance, all of them. The friends, the companies, the board game designers, the board game publishers, GameFound, and you. I'm incredibly grateful for you. For the fact that you're still here watching. There are videos I put up, there are reviews I put up that I'm like, I don't know who's watching this because I barely have an interest. And I'll still get 1,000 views. Like, I think the floor for me generally is 1,000 views. Like, every video, it doesn't matter what it is, gets 1,000 views. And sometimes that might not seem like a lot, but when it's something that I'm not interested in watching, when something that I'm like, I don't know who's watching it, it usually means, if the floor for my videos is 1,000 views, that means there's 1,000 people who are basically going to watch whatever I do. Which is really flattering when you think about it. It's really incredibly flattering. And so thank you for sticking with me. Thank you for being here even when I'm not here replying to comments. Thank you for being here when the live streams that I'm trying to do aren't always as present. Thank you for being here when the content isn't always as innovative or different, and sometimes it feels like I'm falling into a pattern, into a rut. Thank you for being here through all of that. I appreciate it tremendously. I'll be doing a few videos after this. Maybe some today, maybe some over the next few weeks, I don't know. I'll be doing a few more videos. I'll be filming them shortly. When they go up, I don't know. I'll stagger them like I usually do. Just because, I don't know, somewhat on the subject. I'll be doing a video of the 10 worst parts about being a content creator with the appropriate levels of appreciation at the beginning, because I love what I do, make no mistake. I am incredibly grateful for my job, for my opportunity. I'm incredibly grateful day in and day out for what my life is. But there also are things about being a content creator that suck. And I think it's an interesting conversation. On the reverse side, I'll be doing a video of the 10 best parts about being a content creator. I'll be doing 2 videos to talk about other content creators in the space and try to show you people who might be worth your own attention or eyeballs or not. These are videos that I've done. I've done these several times. I've probably done, I don't know, I've probably shared other content creators, maybe 3 or 4, maybe, I don't know, a bunch of other times I've shared other content creators. And it's something that I always mean to keep doing. And then sometimes, again, the patterns of life just happen and those aren't the videos that pop up. But I think there's a few videos, there's a few that have been in my notes, going back to that Notion board, there's a few that have been in my notes for a bit, and I think I need to just finish filling them out and then do a few videos on that. Spread the love, share the journey, the people who are diving into this in different ways, because every day it surprises me, not every day, but on a regular basis, at least once a month, I'll find someone new who I didn't know they existed. There'll be a small channel with like 1,500 subscribers and great quality content, and I'm like, how have I not heard about them? So like, I want to share some of those. But I also want to share some of my favorite channels, regardless of the size. So I'll be doing 2 different videos on that. I might do a dedicated video on appreciation for specific people throughout the years who have, I don't know. I'll do it. I might save that. This is actually, we'll figure out. I might save that for like a Thanksgiving video. It's a good day for a video like that. A good day to show my thanks. So we'll see. But I'll be doing a bunch of other videos. I love what I do. I love 95% of the things about it. I appreciate the fact that you're still here watching. I appreciate the fact that you're still here. Thanks. In any case, until next time, I'm Alex Radical from Board Game Co. Hope you enjoyed this video, and as always, I hope you have a good one.